So a few of our representatives, a few of our good representatives had some good words for Melissa Hortman. So first we have Senator Amy Klobuchar. She says, John and I are devastated and heartbroken by the horrific murders of Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, as well as the horrific attack on Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. Melissa Hortman was a good friend, and we started in politics at the same time, and I still remember the two of us going door to door in her first legislative campaign. She was a true public servant to the core, dedicating her life to serving Minnesotans with integrity and compassion. As Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, she led efforts to protect women's rights, invest in clean energy, and secure free school lunch for kids. She was beloved by her colleagues. I want to thank the brave law enforcement officers who are working in real time to protect Minnesotans and ensure that there is accountability for these horrific crimes. So much for people telling us we wanted to fund the police. Let me be clear about this. This was an act of a targeted This was an act of targeted political violence, and it was an attack on everything we stand for as a democracy. We must all condemn it, and we must refuse to be a country where anyone is silenced by threats or violence. To Melissa's and Mark's family, Melissa's colleagues in the Minnesota legislature, and everyone mourning across our state, I grieve with you. And I will honor their legacy not just in words, but through action, by protecting our democracy, by standing up to hate, and by continuing the work they so passionately believed in. So that was from Amy Klobuchar. And here's what Tim Walz said. Now, you can hear this right here.
In a moment, you'll hear from law enforcement officials who will share with you what they can as up-to-minute update on the situation here in Minnesota. You're going to be joined by Commissioner Bob Jacobson, BCA Superintendent Drew Evans, State Patrol Colonel Christina Bogoyevich, Champlain Park Police Chief Snyder, and Brooklyn Park Police Chief Mark Bruley, as well as the mayor of Brooklyn Park. We're here today because an unspeakable tragedy has unfolded in Minnesota. My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa Hortman, and her husband Mark were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost a dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place. She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers also go out to State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, who were each shot multiple times. The Hoffmans are out of surgery at this time and receiving care, and we are cautiously optimistic they will survive this assassination attempt. This was an act of targeted political violence. Peaceful discourse is the foundation of our democracy. We don't settle our differences with violence or at gunpoint. In the state of Minnesota, and as recently as last week, in the most closely divided state legislature in the country, we sat down, we worked things out, we debated, we shook hands and compromised, and we served the state of Minnesota together. We proved that it's possible, even in these politically charged times, to find compromise and adhere to the principles of democracy and civil discourse. We must all, Minnesota and across the country, stand against all forms of political violence. At this precipice moment we're on, this tragic act here in Minnesota should serve as a reminder to all of us. The democracy and the debates in the halls of Congress, in state houses, in school boards, is a way to settle our differences peacefully and move society to a better place. We're collaborating with all local, state, and federal agencies on a full investigation. We're committed to keeping Minnesotans informed as the situation continues. I assure you that those responsible for this will be held accountable. And each and every one of us are committed to making sure that a tragedy like this never repeats itself in Minnesota or across this country. I'd now like to turn it over to my public safety team to fill you in on the specifics of this ongoing investigation.
Okay, and then we also have, and by the way, thank you for those words, Governor Walz, one of the best governors in the country. And you also have former Representative Gabby Giffords, the wife of Mark Kelly. Former Representative Gabby Giffords of Arizona, who was shot in the head in 2011 at a supermarket in Arizona in an assassination attempt by a lone gunman who killed 6 people and wounded 12 others, said in a statement Saturday that she was horrified and heartbroken by the shootings. She said, "My family and I know the horror of a targeted shooting all too well. An attack against lawmakers is an attack on American democracy itself. Leaders must speak out and condemn the violent extremism that threatens everything this country stands for." So I just wanted to share that they had those statements, and thank you, Gabby, for that statement as well. And like I said, every Democratic official in this entire country, from the municipal and local level all the way up to the national, federal level, all of you are going to have to get extra security, no matter how much it costs. So, yeah, that's that. And again, my heart and thoughts go out to the Hortman family, as well as Hoffman and his family. So I know they said Hoffman and his wife are, they're receiving care now. One source said that the wife's condition was unclear, but I don't know if that video took place when Tim Walz's speech was after that article, or it was. I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully, she is better now. So that's all I want to put out there for now. So stay tuned.